Welcome back, everybody, to me, myself, and I playthrough of the main event scenario. We had just gotten done with a failed assault on Kiev, and we are in the middle of the Russian operations phase. It's been taking me a while because there's so much to do when you have clear weather with the Russians. Fair weather with the Russians is it's been amazing. I took out the first infantry, which we all expected because it was isolated. Then I got a DE result on the 15th Infantry down in 3246. And then I surrounded and killed the 1st Panzer, knocked off the 1st Hungarian, finally retreated the 20th into Kiev, had this +7 assault on Kiev, which the Germans just thumbed their noses at me and told me, no, you can't have the hex. Didn't even get a flipped result out of him, nothing. So, ended up with a diamond. I had a 10 and he had I had a 9, he had an 8. So it was terrible, horrible. But I did get my heavy artillery back in one turn, so there was that. So anyway, we are going to do a quick count of the Russians here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Right? 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 in the south, 15, 16 for the north. So I should be at 24. And I'm not. I missed 2 somewhere. Okay, so I basically can spend like 9 more because I really want to stop at 15 so I can get all my airplanes back. So I'm trying to, what's the best 9 to do? And my thought is this is 2 of them. I move this guy into 1646 for 2 movement points, so he has 8 left. And it's not a very good attack, but he's going to spend 3 to attack the Nor infantry. It's +2 because he's armor, -1 for the woods, and the Germans are +2. I'm really just trying to get a split enough to force him to retreat so that I kind of secure Leningrad for myself, but, we don't know if that'll work or not. Let's see what happens. So, the Russians roll 4 + 1 is a 5. The Germans roll 6 + 3 is a 9, and a 5 to a 9, I believe, is, yes, it's an AS. So that just stops that attack altogether. So if the Germans, what do they have in their faction card? They do not have their heavy artillery, so I might be able to survive this and hang on to Leningrad. I really want to get the Guards tank armies involved here, which means I need to get this 4th shock out of the way. I know, that's a horrible thing to say. Get the shock army out of the way. So he's going to go 1, 2. So that was 2 for that armored unit, and then 1 for the shock army. And then he's going to attack at +1 to +2 against the 6th. So that's 3, 4, 5. So I have 3 left. Because it was 1, 2, and then 2 for the hex and 1 for the units. So that's 3. So yeah, it's +1 to a +2. And just see what we do. 5 + 1 is a 6. And the Germans roll. A 6 + 2 is an 8. 6 to an 8 is still a diamond. So I'll spend my last 3 to do it one more time. And 4 + 1 is a 5. 3 + 2 is a 5, so nothing happens. So kind of a wasted bit of motion there, but I needed to do that. I do want to try it and do this, because if it works, I get another factory out of it. Then I have to put an infantry unit there. Oh, I need to do this. I'm going to activate this guy for a point. He goes 1, 2, 3, 4 into 3349. 5, 6, and then 7, 8 captures Odessa. So the airplane has to fly away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Probably to Sunati. So that he has some kind of range on the Russians. We recapture Odessa. It's only one attack, so either it works or it doesn't. 1, 2, 3. Activate the 5th tanks. And then it's 4 for the river, 5, 6 for the city, 7 for Kishinev. So I only have 3 movement points left, but either this works or it doesn't. I think the Germans still have a ground support left. So they're going to throw it here on Kishinev. Russians don't have anything to add, so normally they would be +2, but they're -1 for the river, -1 for the city, and then normally they're at 0 for being Romanians, but they get +1 for the ground support. So it's a 0 to a +1. Russians roll a 3. The Romanians roll, doesn't really matter. 5 + 1 is a 6. So they stopped it. And that was 2 more, which takes me down to 18. And then I wanted to move the 4th Guards Tank Army. Into Smolensk for 1. And then he attacks the 9th. I'm not going to get my airplanes up, am I? No, because I need to go fill in that. This goes away. Put this back on the turn track. It only lasts till my guys are there. So I'm going to have to run an infantry unit up there, but I really need to try and do this. So I'm only going to get 4 of my airplanes back. But at this point, I'm making such holes in the German line that it might not matter. So that was 1 to there and then 2 there. That means I have 7 left. I am +3. This one for elite, +2 for armor. He is +2. And see what happens. Russians roll 3 + 3 is a 6. Germans roll 5 + 2 is a 7. That's a diamond. Spend 2 more. Attack again. Russians roll 5 + 3 is an 8. Germans roll 6 + 2 is an 8. So nothing happens so far. Do it again. Russians roll 4 + 3 is a 7. Germans roll 6 + 2 is an 8. That's a diamond. And the last expenditure of their movement, of their points. It took me this long to push the 20th back into Kiev, so maybe this one will finally work. And the Russians roll a 6 + 3 is a 9. The Germans roll 4 + 2 is a 6. 9 to a 6 is, yes, it's a DR. So up back he goes. Ooh, where do I retreat to? I'm going to retreat to 2146, because that's a really nice hex. And the armored unit will take the space. Okay, I can spend 1 more point and keep this guy out of supply. Or I can activate a guards unit and have it go run up there and surround this panzer unit. Which I think is what I'm going to do. Which means 1, 2, 3, 4. I could actually do this twice. Do I have a decent attack anywhere? Not really. I don't have any units that are foot face down right now. Since I can only do 4 airplanes anyway, I can spend up to 4 points here. Because I need to put somebody in 2944 to keep the guards unit that I put in 2843. I want to keep him in supply so that this 4th Panzer is going to have a rough time fighting his way out of here, is the idea. Especially in mud where he can only make 1 attack. So, yeah, I think I'm going to do that. It's going to be poor weather next turn because of the optional rules. So, yes, I'm going to spend 2 for this guy, and then I'm going to count when I get done to make sure I haven't overspent. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 2944. And by getting back onto that rail, he goes all the way down through Odessa, which has a unit in it, and then off into Russia. Well, actually, Odessa is a supply source for me. So, and now I'm poised to run and capture 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I can capture Brest. I can capture Lvov. I can actually run the corner and take Cernuti unless he puts somebody in the hex. So I can do a real number on the Germans here. I really ripped open the southern front. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And the 2nd Panzer can reach 2839, but not much farther. And we're threatening to encircle the 6th, the 4th. Should have a really huge assault on Kiev. The 4th Panzer may not be able to bust his way out. So lots of problems for the Germans in southern Russia. Oh, I forgot to roll for the German ground support. I'm going to do that right now. When they held Kishinev, I forgot to roll for it. German ground support comes back in. Aha! 6 turns again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sal's thing about the dice rolls will never do. Whatever you need the dice roll to be, it will be the exact opposite kind of thing. There you go. Got neither one of those back in reasonable amount of time. Maximum die rolls on both. So the minor neutrals will no longer have any interventions, really, from the German ground support markers. I do have 2 points to spend, and I don't have anything to build, so what do I do? Do I try to take this tanks army and attack at +1 to +2? Or do I just move this guards army up? I think I'm just going to move this guards army up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Interesting. If I activate the 10th guards, and I go 1 and then 2, 3 across the river, I can go 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I could run all the way to 2940. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or I could run to 3041, which would prevent the guards units from getting out and helping the 4th Panzer to break out. That might be the thing to do. Yeah, I'm going to go stick this guards unit out there. So from 2847, he goes to 2947, 3046, that's 3 movement points, 3045, 3044, 3043, 2943, 2942, 3041. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 movement points. Now, I could have moved up and been adjacent to Lvov. Okay, yeah, all right. So I could prevent him from strategically redeploying into it. Lvov is not that important to me at this moment. What I'm doing here is, since I have the 4th Panzer sort of in a pocket here, where he can't really get out without moving into enemy zones of control someplace, and Kiev is in the same boat. By moving out to here, these German garrison units that might have moved up to like 2842 and 2943, and then all joined in an assault with the 4th Panzer to try and kill this guards unit in 2843. It's a possibility that he could have, like with a rolling assault kind of thing, had the Panzer attack and then have the other guys attack, and he might have eliminated that because it would have been surrounded with no no retreat routes and stuff. So he might have killed it and then got the 4th Panzer broken out to be still in supply, and I'd have to kill it later. By putting my unit in 3041, now the 7th Garrison can only get to 3043, and then go to 3044, and even if they kill that Guards unit, they will not have a supply line out to... the Panzer won't have a supply line out to Germany, so he'll be at low supply next turn. So by doing this, I stand a fair chance of trying to pull some nonsense off. The Germans are going to have to come up with some creative assaults here to try and make this work, and I don't even know if they can. We may have just lost the entire southern front here and just have to try to run away and hold bits and pieces here in southern Poland in June just to try and get ourselves back. So that's going to be the Russian turn. Now for supply, I'm going to reset these so you can see what I'm doing. The 3rd Guards goes 1 hex into 3944, which contains a friendly unit, so it negates the 4th Panzer zone of control, which rails down to Odessa. The 7th rails down to Odessa. The 10th goes to 2942, rails through the 7th Guards down to Odessa. 5th Tanks goes to Odessa. 1st Guards tank can go to Odessa. You get the idea. Odessa was important for me to move that infantry in and capture it. All these southern armies can draw off of Odessa, if not further back. All the armies here in the center around Kiev, same thing. I didn't make an aggressive attack out of Smolensk as I probably should have, but I do want to try and get back some of my airplanes to try and make the Germans have to at least try and negate my airplanes. I did push, I pushed in and captured Leningrad. They could probably attack me at +1, +2, minus, it could be like a +2, -1 for the weather, -1 for the city. So it'd be like a plus, because I don't have the heavy artillery coming. Maybe I have the heavy artillery coming next turn? No, I have jets. I don't think the heavy artillery comes back till August. Yeah. So without the heavy artillery, I could have a tanks marker, thrown on the north, so he'd be +2. And then the Finn and the other Finn would be another, they'd be one be the primary, the other's +1, +2. So you're +3 to +1, -1 for the city, -1 for the river. So you're +1 to +1. And he can't retreat. So you have to get a DD result, which is hard to do at +1 to +1. You have to get a 7, he has to roll a 1. So you have to roll a 6 and he has to roll a 1. 6-1 splits, not likely to happen. So, looks like Leningrad's going to be held by the Russians. Didn't manage to sneak off Kishinev or Kiev. That would have been much nicer to be up at like 9 or 10 factories with the Russians and just stomping on production. But that's the way it goes. Surprise attack marker has to go back in the end of operations phase. Goes back in my surprise attack marker holding box. The partisans I have to roll for. 2 turns, not too bad. 1, 2. Come back in July, which is the next time we'll have fair weather, so I'll be able to possibly do this again. Pretty soon I'm going to run out of Russia, because I think the Germans are going to make a wholesale retreat here. They're going to have to try and salvage things in the south. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Attacks there. I have to get something in that space, which I don't think I can get to there. So I think no matter what I do, the 4th Panzer is going to be out of luck and out of supply. Well, let's not worry about that for this turn, shall we? Okay, so I can turn this off and we can go. Soviets pretty much have everything in supply, as far as I can tell. If I find something out of supply, I will mark it as such before we start up the next turn, when I do my editing. Where are we? We go to no supply phase. Nobody has one of those. Replacements for the Axis, they have 23. So, yeah, airplanes, right? 3, 6, 9. And then over here in the Mediterranean, 9, 12, 15, 18. So that would be 10, and then 8 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 5 left. And on the production marker here, I want to make sure I save 3. So I think I have just 1 infantry in the east is flipped, right? I didn't get anything flipped in the west was very ineffectual. It kind of scared me a little bit, but they didn't actually bust anything open. The Russians did that instead. So, and I think I have an infantry unit over here somewhere flipped. Yes, the 4th. So we're going to flip him over. That should leave me with 4 points. I don't think I have anything else that needs to be addressed. I need to save 3 for the guys. So, yeah, I'm done with German replacements. The West goes a little faster. This gets because it's American. This is American. Okay, here are Americans. This is their airplane. This armored gets flipped. Patton gets flipped. This one is American, so he goes down 2. Oh, this is an American convoy. He goes down 2. This is American carrier unit. Yep, he goes down 2. That's British. I gotta pay for that. That's British. I gotta pay for that. That's British. Gotta pay for that. That's American. I don't have to pay for that one. He comes down 2. And this airplane comes down 2. Okay. I think that's all the Americans. Right? Looks like that's all the Americans for now. Okay. That doesn't look right. I put 2 sorties on. I put 2 sorties on Force H instead of on Convoy 4. I was adding sorties to Force H to supply my units rather than this convoy. So I don't know what I was thinking about. Okay. Now I gotta pay for the British. Oh, no, I got American airplanes. There. And in Newcastle. Alright, now I gotta pay for British. Hello? British. So that's 4, 7, 10, 13, 16. Right? So that's 16. I'm at 26. Puts me down to 10. And if I go into the med, by default that's 6. And in the airplane is 3 more. So that's 9, and I'm done with the British and the Americans. Replenished everything I could. And then we go to the Soviets, and they don't have anything. Nope, they won't have anything to build anyway, so they're just going to spend their 12 on their airplanes. Pretty sure I didn't lose any infantry. I don't see any infantry that's flipped. So just airplanes. So, wow. This is a real horrible, horrible thing with the Germans. And upgrades. Nobody's got anything in the upgrade boxes. Mobilization for the Axis. They'll spend 3 of their remaining 4 to build German units. Boy, this is... I'm going to have to build a German infantry unit. How the hell do I get it to this? I can rail it in to some direction there. So, build a German infantry unit there. I have to build the German garrison unit. It needs to go in Königsberg because it has to go fill in at Riga. And I'm going to get the paratrooper I'm going to put in Metz. As much as I'm afraid of losing in southern Germany. I'm really short units on the western line against the Allies for July's fair weather offensives. So that's what we have to do. And then the Americans get to build their thing because they don't care about production points. And that is mobilization. Nobody's talking because we're all still fighting. Victory check. I have not conquered Germany, so the game keeps going. End of turn phase. Action card first. Turn phase next. Germans get a bunch of stuff. They get their tanks marker, their jets marker, and a submarines counter. So hopefully they'll get a factory back that way, or at least keep themselves where they're at. And then in June, the Russians get their heavy artillery back that they just used. Their 3 tanks markers. Hooray. The West gets a partisans marker. They get an ultra marker, and then both the Russians and the British get a Lend-Lease. So both of these counters go up 6 turns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. To December of 44. And then our eliminated units go into the eliminated mobilization box. And I have to go raise the factories on the Russians to 6 from Lend-Lease. And I think the British are up to 7 on Lend-Lease. So the British now are at 8, 15, 16, 17, 18. They'll be at 36. The Russians will be at 7 plus 15. 22. They'll be at 44. And the Germans will be at, they'll be at 11 plus 6, 17. They'll be at 34. So, next turn. And that is that. No one was able to buy their surprise attack markers back this turn. And we'll go down here. And then that is the second half of the Soviet operations phase of May 1944. They have made their breakthrough. It was in the South. And I'm Dren608. If you like my videos, please subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. We will return next time with a series of videos for June 1944. By the optional rules, we know that it will be poor weather in the mild zone and poor weather in the cold zone, so that turn's going to go a little bit faster because there's nothing really going on in the warm zone to speak of. So we will see you next time. Bye-bye.